Hi everyone. Over the last few days I've had a few people contact me regarding their keyboard case and it's not working when the tablet is placed in the dock, and when they open it it stops connecting and it shows an error. So what I thought I'd do is show the fix for that. Now if you can, I would send it back. But with the price of this being about £20 at the moment and the price of shipping back to China being around, well, it can be anywhere from £10 to £20, I thought I'd quickly run through the process of fixing it yourself, because it actually turns out that there is a little connector inside the keyboard dock that's causing all of this issue. So we're going to run through how we get to the main circuitry in there and how we connect it all back up. So first thing you want to do, turn it over. Now, underneath these four pads there are little screw holes with little connectors. So what you need to do, I need my flat head here, is you need to peel back these connectors. So as you may be able to see here, if I zoom this in, it'll focusing, there we go. As you can see, just behind them is a little screw hole. So what you need to do is peel them all back and take them out. Right, one thing you may notice, if I put it on the end of the magnet, I don't know how good this camera will be, but the ones at the front, it's not coming in too well, but the ones at the front, as you may be able to see, have got self-tappers, whereas the ones at the back, take this off, are just normal screws. To just make sure you don't get them mixed up, it's because when you're putting these together you'll notice that these actually fit into screw holes, whereas the front they screw straight into the plastic. So the next thing we need to do is we need to get into the side of the unit. Now the best way to do this is just, as you can see, on mine I've already got a nick, is to find something flat, like the edge of the screwdriver, and if you have something thin enough, I think I might have to screw a bit here, see if you can just pry underneath the edge. In fact, I'm going to start on this corner here. And as you can see, it just starts to unclip. Now they have quite firm clipping points, so you just need to keep on going around. Now because I've taken mine off before, it's going to be easier to come off. Yours might take a little bit more force. And there we go. Now, one thing that I did find quite interesting is you might be wondering why or how it's weighted. So to give it a good sturdy feel. Now that's actually because they have stuck some bits of metal on the inside of the case. It does work really well. It does look quite odd, but it serves its purpose. So I'll move that out of the way for a moment. Now, as you can see, this is the main circuitry for the board. It's not exactly held in that well. You can see they just put a bit of masking tape over there to keep the ribbon connector to the keyboard and to keep the ribbon connector down to the trackpad. But as you can see, what I've done with mine, if I just zoom in again, On the original one that I had, there was only 2 little blobs of glue, and they weren't covering the entire cable, so the cable just popped out. So when this moved with the tablet in, the cable just pulled slightly away with it and pulled out the cable. So I would suggest, if you do have a hot glue gun, then I would very much try to re-stick this back down. I just went crazy with the glue gun here. You don't have to go as crazy as this, but I don't intend on taking this cover off again. So you can just use that and stick it down. Now, one thing that I did notice is that mine was tugging slightly when it opened. So as you can see, if I get this in shot, as I turn, that turns with it. I don't know how long that's going to last, but as you can see, when it's clipped in place, it was sat there, whereas before it was sat further in, hence why it pulled the cable. So I just, if I can get it on there, I just took these 4 little silver screws out, which then pops off the back cover. Just pops off this cover here. And then I just readjusted the cable, because it does actually come with quite a bit of play. So I just pulled it out a little bit and then glued that in and then stuck it all back on. But that's essentially all you need to do to get it fixed. So then all you need to do after that, once you fix your cable, I would suggest snapping it to its closed position, so you can just make sure that it's not going to be tugging too much. It is tight, but it isn't too tight. And then all you need to do is get your back plate. Oh, one thing I would do at this point, make sure your magnet's in the right place. Now this magnet allows the screen on the Hi10 to turn off when the keyboard's closed. Now mine was actually located about here instead, so then I just moved it a little bit up to make sure it was in line with where it needs to be, which was obviously another quality control error on Chuwi's part, but that's the price you pay. So then all you need to do is line up your keyboard. Now one thing I did was I lined up the bottom edge first, and then push the lid down, and make sure I pushed in all the corners. And simple as that. Then all you need to do is get your screws, make sure you get your little tapping ones and put them in the front, and get your standard ones and put them in the back, and then you should have a fully working keyboard. Now I'm going to point out, you've got to do this at your own risk. I don't want any comments saying I broke my keyboard taking it apart. I must admit, if you can, like I said at the start of this video, send it back. Otherwise, happy playing around, and if you do have any questions, then feel free to leave them in the comments below. And if you want to see any more videos about the Chuwi Hi10, then feel free to subscribe. And you can also find me on social media, which is in the link in the description. Thank you.